Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner, where systems matter and both personal and professional learning and development is beneficial for everyone and essential for some. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Let's get started.
Today we're going to be talking about business and the different things that he's done in business. It's an impressive feat what he's done in the last 15 years as a business owner, the different people he's helped, mentored, and what they've done with their own businesses and stuff. So he's not just doing it for his own business, like he said, it's here to help the people, and that's really what he preaches, and he takes that action as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Oh, and I coach too.
Oh, and you coach as well, that is right.
I.e. Coach Little Z.
Absolutely, that's a good point. So before we get started, is there anything you'd like to add or say about business or anything in general?
Not in particular. I look forward to doing these videos. We're getting a few views, nothing crazy, but again, if it can help one person, then I'm down for it.
Absolutely. Talking about business today, you had both types of business that was at a storefront, a business that's been at home. What are some expenses that have been saved being able to work from home for you and your employees?
Well, I mean, for the employees, you have gas and even just time, right?
Yeah.
Most people don't get paid to drive to work,
Right.
but if your commute, probably even in Bakersfield, which is a pretty small town, could be 20 or 30 minutes both ways. That's an hour, so you're saving time. And that's another reason why I like systems. It's the ultimate time hack. So I think there's, those types of things. I think people aren't eating out as much, so you're saving money with food and, different things of that nature. I think that I just got rid of my gym membership, and it was only $10 a month, but, I think people are cutting down. Because there's usually two ways as far as money goes. You can increase, your revenues or decrease your spending to be able to get back into your pocket. And then, so I think that's, primarily for the people. And then you also asked about the business owner.
Yes.
Yeah, so the brick and mortar, right? It's about the second highest budget item, right? So salaries are usually the top, that's usually 70 or 80%, depending on what kind of business you're in. Mm-hmm. And then ultimately, so if you're saving, if you have 5 locations and you're saving $10,000 a month, let's say roughly $2,000 a month for 5 locations.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Right.
And so what we've decided to do is give that back to our employees. Right? We've given them pay raises or bonuses or different things of that nature.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've taken some of that money back for ourselves, or we'll readjust it and put it somewhere else. But we thought that would be cool to give back to the people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very cool. This is
Did you just get a bonus, by the way?
I think I did, actually.
Like 4 cents.
Yeah.
And then I took back 2 of them.
Yeah. And the government doesn't even know about the other 2. This is a crazy question because I think everyone would answer they would do it. But is there any business that doesn't have any competition?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
I'm sure when, we've talked about that before, the innovator, which I have a hard time with anyway, but the innovator, entrepreneur, they would have probably zero competition for a little while. But, there's going to be the copycats out there. And usually it's going to come quick. So, as you said earlier, I'm the caveman.
Yeah.
So I discovered the wheel, right? And then my caveman partner, who tried to take my wife, by the way, I clubbed him. But, then he came up with a better wheel. And then I came up with a better, it's the bat story. But I think discounting that, I'm sure there are, but nothing really comes to mind.
I'm sure that you've dealt with a lot of different negotiations and stuff throughout your day.
A few.
Yes. How do you respond to someone that has a take it or leave it type of negotiation?
Well, it depends. If it's a win-win situation, and I've had people that are, so let's say something like this, for example. So I was going to pay $100 for a sports memorabilia item, right? Mm-hmm. And so they started at $200. And let's say, I got them down to where I would say, well, I want to pay $50. And they said, well, you can either take 80 or I'm going to take 80 or that's it. I'm done,
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, twist my arm.
Yeah.
Right. So it depends, but I also like win-win situations.
Yeah.
And for me, it's really cool when I deal with youth. I'll negotiate, I mean hard, like with a 10-year-old kid. Like he's a grown man.
Yeah.
And then I'll get him, down to like, just, because business.
Right.
But then I'll give him $100 on the side
Right.
for learning.
Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
But to me, and I let him know, I said, this is my charity that I'm giving you this $100.
Right.
But for me, I'm gonna teach you how to negotiate. And then we always talk afterwards. So where were you at? What did you start with? And usually they don't have a system.
Yeah.
So I have a system that I go through
Right.
all the way down through, and so it's fun to deal with youngsters. They're selling their baseball cards.
Yeah.
I'm like, the Michael Jordan $50,000 card I'm getting for $4. Not really. But I'll negotiate hard with them, but I'll always reward them for learning that stuff, because I think it's an important skill.
Right. And we'll talk about negotiating a little later on, but I did have a question because, I think that knowing you personally and whatever, maybe they understand as well, you're a kind person.
Yeah.
Has that ever, not bitch in the butt, but have people mistaken your kindness for weakness when it comes to negotiating? Like you said, hey, here's $100 for charity, and then they come back thinking, oh, he's going to do that again or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think so. I have kind of a unique personality like that, because I'll say something at the end, like something like that to the little kid, and I'll be like, don't think that's happening next time though,
Right.
So just to kind of always kind of keep them off balance a little bit. But one of the things that I did learn a long time ago, so I gave the cleats off my feet to a kid that was played football for me in 8th grade. He was slipping.
You guys both same age?
No, I was coaching him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and but his foot was the same size as mine. I got a small foot, right?
Okay.
Size matters, but not in that case, right? So I just said, here, take my shoes, because he was slipping.
Okay.
And he wound up stabbing me in the back, literally. And I had to make a decision right then, and this was early in my teaching career. I was probably a year, I think it was my 3rd year in, actually.
Okay.
And so I made a decision right then that it doesn't matter what the other person does.
Right.
It matters what I do and how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And it's a bonus if they're, accepting of it and liking of it and nice about it.
Right.
But this guy literally stabbed me in my back. But later on down the road, it was like at the end of the year, this was during football season, there was a thing where a kid had lied about something that I did. And this kid was there, and he said, that kid's lying.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it worked out to where, if you do right things by people, usually it's going to come back to you.
Right.
And if you're doing right things for it to come back, on you or to you, shame on you.
Yeah.
Just to do right things because they're right things to do. And usually that'll come back and help you.
Yeah, absolutely. Got it. And then the last question, just overall, do you think 40-hour work weeks?
You could stop right there, because you just are speaking a foreign language to me right there.
For the average person, the 40-hour work week or 50-hour work week was designed to make people obviously lose energy, sleep, different things like that, so that they wouldn't try to open up their own business.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I do know that for sure, because I forget somebody I know pretty well a long time ago, hopefully I'm historically correct here, that the reason that the 40-hour week came about was because of the factory workers back in the day were basically 8 in the morning till 5, and they wanted to teach, they can't work and work with their kids, but they also wanted to teach the kids that schedule from 8 to 3. Okay. So, to me, that's why I think that really came about. But I also think that you're asking, does that 40-hour work week also hinder on somebody's side hustle or their attempt, if they're a little bit scared or nervous or conservative, to go into business or entrepreneurship? And I think that's what you're asking as well.
Yes.
And I don't think so. I just think that the tail wags the dog, and I think that that people do things based off of tradition. And I don't say that in every video, but when it comes up, I try to make a good point of it. I tell all my peeps, people, I said I grab them by their ears when I'm serious.
Yeah.
You know, that means I'm serious.
Yeah.
And I would grab the audience by their ears or whoever's listening and say, why are you doing the things that you're doing? Right? Because systems are a form of habits, rituals, customs, processes, procedures, blah, 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 right?
Right.
And we all do these things.
Yeah.
But why? Is it based off of tradition?
Right.
Well, that's what my mom did and my grandma did and my sister did. Okay, well, that was smart for them back then, or maybe it wasn't smart, either way.
Yeah.
But now it's not smart. You know, we've mentioned that before with the 30-year mortgage. That made sense for, you know, my parents and my wife's parents.
Yes.
Because you bought a house and you stayed there for 30 years and it made sense.
Yeah.
But for me, I've saved thousands and made thousands on the thousands I've saved. And I mean
Right.
tens of thousands and more based off of all my friends are at a 7, 8, 9, 10%, and I'm at a 1%.
Right.
And the next year mine goes up too because I'm on a variable.
Right.
Well, I'm going to refinance anyway, you know, every 3 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's things that we do that just maybe don't make sense.
Right.
And so that's the challenge that I have for the audience is, you know, start writing down what are your customs, your rituals, your habits, your systems, your structures, your whatever, and figure out what really makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, I've talked about that before. Taking your clothes off before you get in the shower,
Yeah.
that's your habit. That makes sense.
Right.
Right? But there's other things that maybe don't make sense. And we've talked about that before with the ham story.
Yeah.
Where the little kid goes and says, Mom, you know, why do you cut the back part of the ham off? I don't know. Go ask your grandma.
Right.
Grandma says, I don't know. Go ask your great grandma. And eventually the great grandma says, well, I don't know why those two knuckleheads did it, but I did it because my pan was too short.
Right.
Well, I think there's a lot of that out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's to me, other than systems and time hacks and different things like that, that's one of the reasons that I like doing these videos, and hopefully it can help somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
If you need to contact Brett or Coach, please do so on his social media accounts, email, and or text. You can find that information in the description below. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Thanks, and we hope you enjoyed.
Crackle and pop.